To his many supporters, Julian Assange is one of the greatest journalists of his generation, and they were out in force at the opening of his extradition hearing. In the queue for the court were politicians from a variety of different countries. For them too, journalism is on trial here, and with it, the United Kingdom's belief in it.
I think it absolutely is journalism on trial. I think it's a landmark case for freedom of speech in the digital age and the freedom of the press. I think the implications of the outcome of this are really important to what journalism is going to look like in the future, in the digital age.
He has become a political prisoner in this country and that the US is determined to extradite him to the US to get even. And the solution, I think, must be political. This is madness that the UK is even entertaining having a court case. The UK should be saying, and the British Prime Minister Boris Johnson should be saying to the US President, back off.
Cast your mind back to 2010 when WikiLeaks burst onto the scene with the leaked video footage of a US helicopter shooting civilians.
Light them all up.
Come on, fire!
And it's easy to remember how Assange became a celebrated anti-war activist, as well as a driver of a new form of journalism, the digital leaking of classified information. But the vilification of Chelsea Manning, who provided WikiLeaks with the information, and the now dropped rape allegation against Assange, which drove him to the Ecuadorian embassy in London for 7 years, allowed the US government to accuse Assange of being a malicious actor, guilty of not just bad journalism, but of bad character. This is the determination the judge in the case is going to have to make. Is Assange hero or villain? This process won't take days or weeks or months, but potentially years. And the biggest question really is what happens to Julian Assange during all that time. The authorities say that if he's released on bail, then he'll be a flight risk. His supporters say that keeping him in prison is a risk to his life. For reasons entirely unclear, Assange has been held in solitary confinement in the prison next to the court for up to 20 hours a day. His father, who's been visiting him, says it's unjustifiable.
There's no reason at all why Julian continues to be in Belmarsh prison. He can come home to us and spend the time with his family while the court case is on.
Assange's lawyers will paint him as a political prisoner and have suggested they may attempt to seek asylum for him in France. For the indefinite future, though, his only journey is the underground tunnel from his prison cell to the courtroom. Laurence, Al Jazeera in London.